Hey everybody, it's Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently I watched Johnny English Reborn, and having seen the first film, it had been a long time until I had seen the second installation, and honestly I really like the second better than the first because there's more action involved. It has a slightly darker tone to it. It's a little bit more believable than the first one. Of course, there's a lot of slapstick, and it's really well done. It's really funny, and Rowan Atkinson, as usual, is brilliant. I just love him to death, and you just want to yell at the screen sometimes at how inept he is. But it's a really great movie despite its predictability. A lot of the events that occurred, I knew that they were coming, but it didn't really matter because the plot was so good, and the action and adventure was so gripping that it held you from the get-go, and you weren't bored with it, and you couldn't look away. And also, it's very clever. The Brits, with their sense of humor, they beat us every time. I mean, we Americans, we resort to toilet humor, which is, yeah, real classy. That's why I prefer British humor most of the time over our own. Sorry. But I really enjoyed Johnny English Reborn so far better than the first one, and it's going to go in my collection just because I'm a huge Rowan Atkinson fan. I even liked it better than Mr. Bean's Holiday, which I thought was kind of a weak sequel to the first, although I did think it was better than the first one. But this is by far funnier. It is hysterically funny, and it has really tremendous action sequences, and it parodies the 007 genre very well. And I think there are lots of nods to Sean Connery and Daniel Craig. And I just think that it's really a great franchise. I'm happy to see Rowan involved in something like this that is a little bit out of his character, but I think Rowan can do anything. I think Rowan can be comedic, Rowan can be serious, Rowan is just an exceptional actor, and he can play any role he wants to, just because he's just amazing. And as far as movies are concerned, this one gets 2 thumbs way up, 5 stars. And if you are a fan of Johnny English, I would highly recommend it because it is just a riot and really exciting. And plus they add a character by the name of Tucker. There is a little bit of racism there, but it's done in a rather funny way, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really interesting how that was portrayed, and just how uneasy it was, but it was still funny. So it was exceptionally done. I felt it was just glorious. As far as movies are concerned this weekend, unfortunately I don't have anybody to see Total Recall with me. I was kind of debating whether I wanted to see it or not, but I'm going to probably wait for it to come out on DVD. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days, my dad's not interested in seeing it, so we're probably going to wait for it to come out on DVD, sadly. Ruby Sparks is not in cinemas as of yet, and I really wanted to see this one because it was done by the same director who did Little Miss Sunshine, whom I absolutely love. And I thought, oh, this movie will be terrific, and now I can't see it. And then there's another one called Beasts of the Southern Wild, I believe, and it has these humongous boars in it with these tusks that stick out from their forehead like this. And they look really, really, really mean. And I wouldn't want to get close to one if I had to, or wrestle it, or anything. Keep me away from that. It would gore me. But, just the idea of the film, and I have absolutely no idea what it's about. it looks really intriguing. And another one that I've heard about is the Intouchables, not the Untouchables, but the Intouchables. It is a movie that's based on a true story, and that's all I know about it. And yes, it's playing at all the artsy fartsy cinemas that I can't afford to go to. So I can't make a special little trip to go up and see it. But I would like to, so another movie to be added to my films that I will see later. I have a very rare film that a lot of people don't know about, and perhaps you've heard of this. It is the unknown sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show. Love, absolutely, devoutly, watch it every single solitary year. Tim Curry is a god. This is the sequel to it. Now I don't know what the story is. It has a cult following of its own, strangely enough, which I did a little bit of looking into. I haven't been to DeviantArt to see any of the artwork. I'd love to see some artwork done on either Rocky Horror or Shock Treatment. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know whether I like it or not. Same thing with Step Up the Revolution. I didn't see the first Step Up. I haven't seen the subsequent Step Ups, though this particular one got me interested, but a movie about dancing, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't want to pay money to go to the cinema to see that. It's like going to Broadway to see Stomp. I mean, no offense, but you can watch homeless people do that, and not worry about it, and then give them some money and help them get some work rather than just beating on trash cans all day long. I'm sorry to say it that way, but there are other ways that you can use your money. I'm not really sure of what else to say other than I'm currently working on a story called Queen's Consort, which is a romantic story that's kind of a period piece, but it's a fantasy tale because it takes place in a kingdom that's not involved in our realm, at least. I don't consider it to be. I am currently reading The God Delusion by one of my favorite people in the whole entire world, Richard Dawkins. It has proved to be an extremely gripping book, and I find it very engaging and challenging in a good way. I don't agree with everything he says. I do agree with a lot of the assessments he makes, so I will be doing a review about it. Isn't it funny? I'm a spiritualist doing a review on atheist book, but I'm open to all points of view and perspectives, and he and I agree on quite a few things, actually, which, I don't find anything wrong with him. Plus, I think that he's a very good-looking guy, despite his age, and if he didn't have security around, I would walk right up to him and give him a big smooch on the lips. I hate to say it that way, but yeah, I like guys who have a little bit more experience, and guys who have a little bit more intellect, rather than younger men who don't, to say the least. I'll just say it that way. Hopefully I won't be seen as some sort of weirdo. That was kind of strange, sort of confessional. I'm really not working on too much of anything else other than a Doctor Who fluff piece called In Their Element. I will be working on a sci-fi script called Hotspots, which will have a cameo, actually 2 cameos. One of the cameos I'm probably going to have to pay royalties for if this is ever used in a play or cinema, which maybe someday it will be. Who knows? I don't have any equipment to do any of this, and I just don't have the recruiting ability or anything like that. Yeah, this is all in my head. Whenever I get the money to do so, hey, sky's the limit. But anyway, the 11th Doctor will make a little bit of a cameo. I'll have a cameo of my own character, Regina. She'll just pop in one of her quantum jumps, and then in a flash of nanosecond, she's gone. So it's kind of a funny scene, and I have it set up in my mind how I want it to play out. I really don't know what else I'm doing. The only thing I'm kind of languishing over right now, I don't know if you can hear, probably not, you probably can't hear that in the background, but every 3 times a year we have a demolition derby. Right now we're having our county fair, which is a great way to get money into the city and helps repair this, that, and the other, etc. But the thing that I don't like that occurs is the demolition derby, which happens 2 times in the summer and 1 time in the fall before our big fall foliage festival, or FFF as it is labeled. I just loathe the demolition derby, but on the other hand, playing devil's advocate, I like it because it is a marvelous way for a good stream of income to come into the town. It gets other people into the town that maybe haven't been in the town, maybe have a bad impression. Sorry, brain is much faster than the tongue. Have a bad impression on this town. I'm not really certain of what else to say other than I'll be glad when it's over, and then I won't have to listen to the sound of the cars crashing into each other, or the mayor whistling when there's a fire in somebody's engine. I almost said under the bonnet. I've been dealing with too many Brits as of late. It's called the hood here. Remember that. Oh well. If I start to sound a little bit British, I mean, who cares? It's a little fun, actually. I don't mind. Other people might think I'm a little bit unusual, but sometimes I get into certain moods, and I'll start speaking in other not languages, but other accents. And no, I don't have a multiple personality disorder, but I just pick up on accents really easily when I go into other states. Like one time I went into South Carolina, and I started talking with a really drawn out southern drawl. Same thing with Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Wisconsin. I like the Wisconsin accent. Don't you know? But I wouldn't mind going up there again, but I have to wait. I don't really have that much else to say. Sorry, I kind of got off track there for a moment. There really isn't anything good in the cinema. I had to wait until Born Identity. The Born Legacy. So I will be reviewing that as soon as I can. I also will be taking a look at Shock Treatment and letting you know if I like it or if I dislike it or whatever my assessment of it is. And we shall see if it is as good or maybe even better than Rocky Horror. I have no clue. But that's pretty much what I'm up to. And League of Extraordinary Gamers is currently on fictionpress.com. And this is the mock poster that goes along with it. Those are all the gamers involved. They each have their own special talent in a certain genre. I was showing this to a friend of mine. Pardon me. But thinking allergies and stupid drought. What you can do about it is can't really make the clouds rain when you want them to. I'm not God, for heaven's sake. But anyway, when I was speaking to a friend of mine, he said, they don't look like nerds. Matthias does. Matthias is wearing plaid and he has round glasses. And the other character that kind of looks like a nerd is Isabel. Isabel has square frame glasses. But I didn't want to put up the stereotype of them being quote unquote dweebs, because that would be just adding to the whole idea of nerdism, if that's a word. I just coined one. But I was happy to make them unique in their own characteristics and just make them stand out and have them come into their own at the very end, and realizing that gaming is not the ultimate in their lives, even though it is a part of their existence. The one thing that they've held on to all these years, and it's a constant in their lives, and I really enjoyed that part of it. Don't really have that much else to say. Sorry, I spoke too much. So that's my review of Johnny English, which I absolutely love. It was outstanding. It was fantastic. I adored it. Rowan Atkinson, parfait. I wish I could meet him in person and get his autograph and talk to him a bit about his method acting and see what kind of ideas he would have for a film himself. I would love to see him direct a film. I think that would be the greatest thing ever, and it would just make my life complete as a fan and an Anglophile, and maybe we'll see it happen. I don't know. My fingers are crossed. I am cautiously optimistic. So, only the future knows for sure, and only fate can decide.